Me partnering with integrity means I'm here to stay. As in, I love this industry. I'm more excited about it than I have ever been. As a matter of fact, I am like the tail number on my jet. I'm in 24/7. Are you?
All got the same amount of time, and it's going to take a time, and it depends on how we use our time. But what do you got your mind set on? What do you got your mind set on? I love what Beret said earlier, and that's why Mike had her say it, because it's what you got your mind set on is what you're going to get. And she's got her mind set on agency manager by the end of November. And it's going to take time, and it's going to take money, and it's going to take patience. And Mike, I love that I have an opportunity to be a partner with $1 billion company. I said it at the agency managers meeting in Tampa. I was glad to hear your wife repeat what I had said at one of these meetings, I think at TWC about a month back, because it resonated. And it is something that's major, and all of us have an opportunity to grab it.
World, watch. You're going to see something you ain't never seen before. Is about ready to see what the Alliance can do, baby.
Alaska, baby. The last great frontier. Maybe, I don't know, Alaska. It's cold up there, so I got my jacket on, and they got ice glaciers. We're going to cruise Alaska. It's not just a cruise, it's a journey. The ovation of the seas. We are going cruising. And where are we going while we're cruising in Alaska? Juneau. Yes, I know, it's Juneau. It is the largest capital in the United States of America. You're gonna see orcas, you're gonna see humpback whales, you're gonna see them sea dogs, you're gonna see the sea sails, you're gonna see everything up in Juneau, because Juneau. Have you ever been dog sledding? You get on the back of the sled. Oh, look, or you down like this right here. You like this right here. There's a country song that says, if I never get to see the Northern Lights. I bet you go on this cruise, you're gonna get to see the Northern Lights.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Activity Call Live. Filmed today in beautiful Wilmington, North Carolina. Now let's hear it for our host, Adam and Beth Katz.
There we are. Hello, Alliance Nation. We are excited to be with you again. Happy Friday to everybody. Big things happening all across the Alliance universe, and we're excited to share some with you. We're going to jump right into the leaderboards for this week. So let's start with total production issue paid. Coming in number 12. With $9,001. That's pretty cool. You have to be at $9,000 to make the top 12. Stephanie Reinhardt, part of the Bel Air agency, number 11 with $9,143. Mark Hutchison, number 10, $9,763 of issue paid. This is issue paid now, not submitted. Issue paid production, 15 applications, Eric and Bobby Bel Air. Number 9 with $10,318, Angela Manzo. Number 8 with $12,005, the King of IULs, Marvin and Jalissa Otsoy. Number 7, $12,322, just killing it on building his team as well as leading from the front on production. Stephen and Holly Davies coming in number 6 with $14,720. Part of Mike and Brittany Rodriguez's team, Renee Safranik. Number 5 with $14,790 issue paid, Rob Wilson. Number 4 for the week, $15,326 issue paid production, Joseph Dukes and Venus Castleberg. Coming in number 3, $18,000, a big IUL for Mr. Henry Gonzalez, part of the Mathis team. Number 2 for the week with $21,079 issue paid, Vernon Schmid, part of Brant and Jell Swindell's team. And then number 1, there's only one number 1, as we like to say, $22,326, 49 applications. Megan Wood, again, leading from the front, part of Mike and Noel Leventovich's team. All right, let's look at our top annuity producers. Tell you what, we'll start with 50,000. Coming in at number 8, Jan Miller with $50,000 even. Number 7 for the week, Kelly Lynn Kurgis with $50,958. Angela Manzo had a $64,534 annuity issue paid. Stephen and Holly Davies, $85,000, $436 annuity issue paid. Stephanie Reinhardt with a $90,006 of issue paid annuity production. Venus Castleberg and Joseph Dukes with a $97,000 89. I'm saying that all kinds of wrong.
Yeah.
$97,089 of issue paid annuities. Marvin and Jalissa Otsoy, $102,348 annuity, and Vern Schmid with a $200,740 annuity. That's a nice paycheck there too, in case you're wondering how all that works. Total sales submitted for the week. Number 12, Colt Rhodes, part of Brandon and Ashley Beal's team. Maddie and Miguel Gonzalez coming in at number 11 with 9,600. Marisol Diaz Ramirez with 9,733 coming in at number 10. Lee Reyes, part of the carry team, the Ninja, with $9,888. Katie Williams at $11,029, number 8 for the week. Douglas Becker with $11,752 of submitted premium for the week. We had Sue Love with $12,000 of submitted premium, part of Tom Murphy, Brandon Manley's team. Number 5 for the week, Jeff Turner and Kelly Haney, the dynamic duo, $14,079 submitted premium. Number 4 was Kiani Beggs, part of the Davies team, $17,096. Number 3 is Kyle and Nina with $17,303, 22 applications. Strong week for Nina and Kyle. Number 2, part of Junior Korea's team, Blake Chrisan. Way to go, Blake. Great job. $18,341, 21 applications. Smoking. And then number 1 with $36,545, 51 applications, Megan Wood. So congratulations, Megan. Great job. CDS production, top 3, we had James and Pam Alara. Number 2 was Kyle and Janina. And number 1 for the week, CVS production, Jeremico Edwards. Our top recruiters coming in with 1 recruit each. We had Paul Roberts, Chris Manifold, Jonathan Henderson, he goes by Hendu, Mike and Noel Leventovich, clicking up a notch to 2 recruits this week, Jake and Veray Joseph, Mike and Kate Marisi, and Mike and Brittany Rodriguez. With 3 recruits this week, we had Joseph 2, Jeremy and Amy Patton, and Kyle and Janina. Number 2 for the week with 4 direct recruits, we had Andy Riddle. And number 1 with 8 personal recruits. Congratulations, Jason and Olga Mathis. Great job on that. Alrighty. Total final expense sales. Are we good with that? Stephen, if we're good with the leaderboards, I'm good. All right, we're going to
Adam Katz.
Okay. We're going to go ahead and get rolling. Hey, why don't we pull up the F&G one real quick, though? Total sales issue paid for F&G Life. These are the folks that are working hard to qualify for that. Qualify for the study group down in Treasure Island, Florida. So there are the details. Top 7 veterans need at least 5 applications, and the top 3 rookie producers will qualify. There'll be a hotspot at the Fusion Hotel on Wednesday, and then all-day training with breakfast, lunch, and dinner provided. And dinner's going to be at the Albright's house. And if you've ever been to the Albright house in Treasure Island, you are in for a treat. Just unbelievably gorgeous. All the small touches that Jane does to make a house a home is just incredible. And the food's going to be outrageous. Andy does not have people over unless he's going to give outrageous food. And so all the meals taken care of. You're going to be staying at the Fusion, eating on the beach. It's going to be unbelievable. By the way, those who didn't qualify for it can still attend the training, the hotspot on Wednesday and the training. And the dates for that is September 22nd through the 24th. And so you have till August 31st to get qualified for that. So people making a move this week, we'll do the top 3 F&G issue paid producers. Joe and Tawny Walker trying to work their way to the Florida group with $7,204 of issue paid F&G IUL sales. Renee Safranek had $14,720. That should shoot her up near the top. Just needs to get those 5 applications in. And then Henry Gonzalez with $18,000 IUL. So good stuff there. So we got that going on. That contest is going on. The Alaska contest is going on. We did the new qualifiers for Alaska on Wednesday. And we talked Wednesday also. Let me just reiterate this again for the brand new people with the new comp program and all the bonus points. So with Andy decreasing the level of promotion by 50% to qualify for all the levels moving up, and only needing 2 legs, you can't have more than 50% production from any one organization. He has made it so simple for you to just shoot up the comp levels and to earn the promotions. And those comp levels still have built into them 60,000 points towards the Alaska trip. Okay, so Chantal, this is your first year with the Alliance, is that right? Okay, yeah. So you can get, because it's your first year, you could get 60,000 bonus points, which means all you got to do is pay $65,000 of points, which is basically $65,000 of insurance premium. You get 10% credit for the annuities. So like if you look at the person who had $200,000 annuity, Vern Schmidt, he got 20,000 points towards Alaska, and so that would get him, that get him 30,000 bonus points right there on the new grids. And so it's just crazy. So if you're brand spanking new, and you don't even have a license yet, know how easy, how simple and achievable is the key word. How achievable it's going to be for you to qualify for the Alaska cruise. I think they're going to have to get a second boat. I really do. I think the ring ceremony at National Convention, January 20th through the 23rd, is going to be crazy. Robbie was talking on the President's Club call yesterday about how many rings they're needing to order from the Herff Jones guy, and just trying to make projections. How do you make projections on how many rings? Now that agency manager is $25,000 of issue paid production for back-to-back months. So the ring ceremony is going to be crazy. The Alaska cruise winners is going to be crazy. They're going to have to extend the recognition ceremony, probably an extra 3 hours just to be able to do everything that they're going to have. So that's going to be incredible. And think about this, guys. Here's what you really want to be thinking about on August 13th right now is this. How many of those people walking across stage January 20th through the 23rd in Burlington, North Carolina at our national convention are going to be on your team? Think about it. First of all, who's going to get their ring? And then how many of your teammates, how many people that you are helping, that you're coaching, that you're bringing along with you, how many of them are going to get their rings? That's going to be exciting. And to think about all those kind of things, it's like the trips. The trips are awesome, and Beth and I, we have enjoyed every single one of them. Mm-hmm. But there's something special about being able to take some of your team with you on those trips. And when we have teammates that qualify for them, that's just extra special. And so we've been traveling the world with Linda and Keith Goebel now. I think we've been on 6 or 7 trips with those guys. We got to go with our Andrew and Paula Argenio to Paris, and it's just really cool. Looking forward to going with the Mirdos and the Maxims, among others, to Aruba in a couple months. That's going to be off the chain too. So exciting stuff. So Chantal, the point is qualify for Alaska, and it's so simple for you to do it this year. Take advantage of the bonus points. You don't want to waste bonus points because they're not renewable. Once you use them, they're gone. And so if you use them this year and you don't qualify for the trip, you don't have them next year. So since you're using them this year, you might as well take advantage of it and get all of them.
For sure.
Absolutely. So anyway, all right. So what we wanted to talk about, I want to give a shout out to my buddy Chris Hill, the chief of upstairs at the corporate office in Burlington, Dr. Chris Hill. He has a doctorate in divinity. And we were traveling last week together, and we went to Fort Lauderdale and we went to Orlando, and Chris talked about, reasons to have urgency, which is the big reason to have urgency is we're burning daylight. We are not promised tomorrow. You never know what's going to happen. What Vanilla Ice say? What Rob Van Winkle say? He said, yesterday is history and tomorrow is a mystery. You know, so you need to be working today. You need to be living today. And so having that sense of urgency and you know, might as well get the job partner done. If you're going to go partner anyway, might as well get the job of partner done now. And that way you can take advantage of all the extra perks that go with being a partner. The faster you do it, the sooner you get to enjoy the perks. The faster you do it, the sooner you have 7 figures in a bank account, multiple 7 figures in a bank account. And then you'll have multiple 7 figures of stock option. I mean, just crazy.
And you get to do the spray.
Oh, yeah. And then you get to shoot the gun. Then you get to shoot the gun, too, at the conferences. Yeah. And you get you get parking next to Andy's car. You get close to the building up front parking when you go partner also. So little perks. And you know, what's funny is this. People are like, really? You'd go partner for that? Yeah. To shoot that gun on stage? Heck yeah. Don't tell me you don't look at Andy and Jane shooting that gun and being like, that'd be cool. You know, it's funny. People, you know, Andy gives out these T-shirts. We have the 40-40 Fight Club, and they give away, you know, they're giving away the tumblers and the hats and the sweatshirts and the sweatpants. And, you know, then the 10K Club where they give you a T-shirt. And you know, and it's like people like, I want a T-shirt. I'm going to get me a T-shirt. And it's like, okay, go get you a $20 T-shirt, write $10,000 of issue paid production that puts $6,000 of commission in your bank account so you can get that $20 T-shirt. But it's how we work. It's how our mind works. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today, talking about how our minds work and how to create urgency. So let's jump right into it. So Chris Hill, look, I've given him credit twice now, which is the speaker's law. You give him credit twice, and then it becomes a friend of mine said, and then I you know, next time I talk about this, I made it up. So that's how credit is shared. So seven ways to show urgency. Number one is this: be determined to win. Be determined to win. So think about it like this, guys. If winning is optional, then you're not going to have any kind of urgency on anything you do. I don't care what you're doing. If you're playing basketball, if you're playing soccer, you know, if you're playing checkers, if you're playing chess, in these games, you know, whatever you're doing, if you're not determined to win, you're not going to have any urgency in figuring out how to win. And so the first thing that you really need to establish in your mind is, do you want to win? How important is it to you? I remember Andy taking me to a swimming pool one time. And, you know, we were talking about having urgency. And we were talking about, you know, what can I do? You know, how do I discipline myself to get more urgency, to get the job done? Because we're doing okay where we are. It's not that we're doing bad. So, but we could be doing so much better. We could be impacting so many more people. And he was just like, well, and then he grabbed me by the shoulders and he just pushed me under the water. And you know, I'm gasping and, you know, throwing my arms up and you know, he lets me up and then puts me back down. And I was like, what the heck? He said, when you want to win as bad as you wanted a breath of air, then you'll have that urgency. Yeah. Then you'll have that urgency. So, Steve, what are some things that you do to help you determine what's optional, what's not optional in terms of winning, or or you know, is it worth playing the game if you're not determined to win it?
No way. I mean, you got to be determined to win. We've talked about this on our team, like one word. I gave you my one word at the beginning of this year, and that was max out. and that's what I'm going for. I mean, I'm determined to win every single day. I mentioned this before that, you know, I got to spend time with Andy, and he said, let your schedule run you. You know, you don't run the schedule. You just let the schedule run you. And that's what I've done over the last 8 months here, and let my schedule run me. And it's proved well. I mean, I'm happy with it. It's helped me be more consistent on there. I don't have to overthink the little things. It's just go run the schedule, and then things will happen for you. And that's what I'm fired up about, is the opportunities on here, the new promotions and everything. I mean, big picture, this is huge. This opportunity for us, I'm just so super fired up about this here. I love my team out in Orlando. I love the Argenios out here. I mean, you guys have been really super supportive on us on building this big picture and helping us achieve our goals and working with us together. So that on a consistent basis and being around the fire is huge for me. And I just absolutely love the opportunity here in the Alliance.
Yeah, absolutely. So number one, be determined to win. Make your mind up that quitting is not an option. And we have 100% success rate with everybody who doesn't quit. Does it happen in your time? God's in charge. But you can do things to shorten the time frame, to shorten the learning curve. But we have 100% success rate with everybody who sticks with it. So
well, I was gonna say, and when you when you approach it as a couple, then when Adam's having a bad day, I can be the grounding force, and when I'm having a bad day, he's my support, and that helps you lock in and not make sure that you're both not quitting on the same day.
Yeah. And that's where if you are married, now you don't have to go get a spouse. So you're okay, Chantal. You don't have to get married to be successful here. But if you are married, getting your spouse on board with the program is huge. One of the things we like to say here is 1 + 1 = 11. Normally mathematically 1 + kind of complete each other in business. Dan, you are muted. Can you hear us? Okay.
No, you froze for about 30 seconds, but I hear you.
Okay. So yeah, what are things that you and Deanna have done, especially over the last 12, 14 months, to kind of get on the same page and kind of row the boat in the same direction, and start completing each other from a business perspective? What are some things you did to make that determination as a couple?
So Adam and Beth, thank you so much for allowing me to speak and everything you've done for Deanna and I. And obviously you've been life-changing for us, and anytime I can say thank you. That being said, yeah, I think that a lot of people think that couples have it easier. And I guess maybe once they get to a certain point, maybe they do. But starting off, I don't think it's easy. What we dealt with a lot is different levels of self-development, self-growth. And there's a lot of, I'll say bickering, that's probably the best word, of what we should be doing, what we should be focusing on. And it's hard to coach each other when you're married, right? When you have intimate relationship, it's hard to, everything comes off as judgmental. It does not come from a place of
helpfulness.
Right. And so in the beginning, what was tough for us was kind of matching to really, I think it was figuring out what each other needed to hear and how to get that message across. I know there's things that she would say to me, and I'm like, how could you even say that to me? Like, why would you say it? Like, I don't want to hear that from you. Adam could say it, but you don't say it. So just kind of figuring out that where we should be getting coaching, what we should be doing, aligning everything together and then growing together, meeting each other where we were both at, and then getting around the fire, going to the hot spots, getting on the calls, going to the conventions. And instead of, us coaching each other, we're now getting it from you, from Andy, from the leaders, and things that I'd want to say to her, she'd want to say to me, I'm now hearing from you guys, and now I soak it in, I take it, and I it has meaning, I guess. And so that was the first thing and it took a while. It took probably, 6 months to a year to get on that. And then it's just doing the activity. It's everything in this business is activity. And there's we like to think that the people, the Megan Woods, the people who are producing a lot, that it's easier for them. It's not. It definitely is not. They're just working harder than the rest of us. And we can make excuses. We can say that we can't do it. But I love what Stephen Davies always says is, when you say you can't, you're just saying you won't. And there's so much power and truth in that statement that, it's what are we doing? And, so personally, getting good at sales, getting good at recruiting, this rapid funnel has kind of been a business changer for us. We've always had the ATM for sales. The rapid funnel is becoming my ATM for recruiting.
Nice.
Exactly what I should be talking about, when I should be talking about it. If the recruits have questions, I just shoot them the next video. Say, hey, watch this, and I'll call you. Takes me out of it. Like we mentioned earlier, gets me out of the way. Lets the system do it, and then I just follow up and say, hey, any questions? You want to do it? Let's go. So yeah, just getting involved, getting attached to you guys, not being afraid to mess it up, and just seeing the people.
That's awesome. Wow, there's a lot to unpack right there. One of the big keys, and ladies, I'm going to give you guys, you ladies, a secret about us men. I might lose my man card for sharing this publicly. Men are much more fragile than you give us credit for, than you think. I like to live in this delusional world where Beth thinks I'm perfect. Okay. Now I know I'm not perfect. And I know she knows I'm not perfect. But in my head, I believe that she believes I'm perfect. I'm her knight in shining armor. And so when she corrects me, lovingly or maybe not so lovingly, it doesn't even matter. It shatters the illusion of my perfection. So I cannot take coaching from Beth. I cannot take input from Beth when it comes to the activities that I'm doing. Now, Beth is my secret weapon because she sees everything, and she knows, because she's gone to all the conferences and she's plugged into the calls and she does everything. She knows what's supposed to be being done. So she knows when I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, but she also knows she can't say it to me. So what she does is because we built a relationship with Andy and Jane Albright, Beth will just, hey, have a quick conversation with Jane, who gives Andy a heads up, and magically I get a call from Andy correcting the behavior that needed to be corrected. And I know where it came from. I'm not dumb, but it keeps my illusions in place. And I could take coaching all day long from Andy. I can take coaching all day long from the leaders of this organization. And every couple is different. So I'm not going to say every couple is wired that way, but you got to figure out where that comes from. That is so huge right there. Okay. Let's move on. Number 2. So number 1 was to be determined to win. Number 2, purge unproductive activities. Okay. Purge unproductive activities. So we say, I'm in 24/7. Are you? Okay. What does that mean? Well, in my mind, here's what it means. When are you, for those of you who have kids, when do you stop being a parent? When do I stop being a parent to my children and clock in to being a husband to Beth? When do I clock out as dad, clock in as hubby? When do I clock out as hubby, clock in as son to my parents? When do I clock out as son and clock in as brother to my brother and my sister? You're always a dad. You're always a mom. You're always a son or a daughter. You're always a sister or a brother. You're always a spouse. You don't clock in and clock out. So why would your business be any different? Why would you say I'm only available from 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, and if you can't catch me then you'll have to wait till. I mean, why would you not be available to your team? I was just reading this morning in the book I'm reading. It was talking about being available, and how that can be blessed as long as you're available. And the author actually gives out his cell phone at the back of the book. And he gets like 100 phone calls a day from random people. And he was just telling some of the stories of some of the things that happened. And it's just crazy. But he just made a decision. He wanted to be available to his readers. and so being available. So purging unproductive activities doesn't mean you don't have time for everything. Okay. Well, it does. You don't have time for everything, but you do have time for everything important. Okay. Like Chantal, you were saying before the call started, that you have 2 grandkids with birthdays today. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay. So we're going to be partying down at the Chantal house. And that's fine. You have time to have fun with the family and to celebrate the kids' birthdays and the grandkids' birthdays. It's just that you have to schedule it, and you have to purge the unproductive things so that you can have time to be productive during the time you're supposed to be productive, as well as have time for those extra events and special things that come up. So Chantal, what are some things that you do to get rid of the unproductive things in your life? And we're all a work in progress. Ain't none of us perfect. Andy says this all the time. We're striving for progress, not perfection. But what are some things that you're doing, you're trying to do, things you're eliminating because you realize how unproductive they tend to be?
First of all, you have to make the choice that I'm in this 100%. And you have to have a made up mind that that's what you're going to do. That's where it starts at for me. I had to make up my mind. I'm doing this no matter what. I'm in 100%. And so that's what I've been doing. Number one, you have to set your schedule. You have to stick to it. For me, that was kind of a hard thing. Setting a schedule, sticking to it no matter what. If you wake up and you got a headache or you're sick or whatever, like, no excuses. If I say I'm going to dial at 8 o'clock, I'm up dialing no matter what. So for me, that was a big thing, just setting my schedule, sticking to it. And number 2, being consistent. That's what I'm working on too, being consistent. Set a goal, stick to it, and just do it. Just put your head down and stay focused on what you set. And I mean, for me, that was a big thing, setting a schedule and being consistent.
So Andy has an audio out there. It's called ABCDE, and maybe a blog as well. But I know it's definitely a podcast. ABCDE. And in fact, we'll see maybe if we can get that pulled up somewhere. The thought is this. It tells you what to do, how to grade your activities, things that need to be done. And, A activities you have to do, B activities, very important. And, all the way down to, D activities are things you delegate, and E activities are things you eliminate. So what are things you eliminate? Facebook?
Definitely social media.
Social media. Use social media to promote your business and then get off of it. Netflix, there's a time and place for Netflix. The time is not 8 a.m. when you're supposed to be dialing, or during productive hours. So Beth, what are some things that we've tried to eliminate, some things we've tried to purge from our activities? And we are a work in progress as well. We're not claiming to be perfect at all, but we're trying.
Well, one thing is Adam doesn't have a honey-do list. First of all, that was probably never going to be his skill set anyway. But second of all, he is much more productive, and that's most importantly. He is more productive doing other things than the little things that appear on a honey-do list. Talking about Netflix. Our kids have always been cuddlers, and they've liked shows, and so we've had shows that we would watch, but it was an intentional family time. It wasn't just chilling out in front of the TV for hours on end. I do remember there was a time period back when cable was a thing that you actually gave up cable. We disconnected it from the house for a period of time. Back when papers were around, we discontinued getting the paper. Anything that was going to distract you from the most important things. And we have taught our kids that as well. That there are things that come up that we'll say yes to in a heartbeat. Things that we'll put on Adam's calendar. And they don't feel like they're being scheduled. Some people get upset, like, well, family time shouldn't have to be scheduled. My sister and her husband is a minister, and they would go to conference after conference, and the thing that was said to them was, you've got to schedule family time into your calendar because they need to feel as important as your church members. And so that kind of helped me go, well, I'm hearing it in the Alliance is another validation that's not, it's not devaluing me by Adam putting time with me on the calendar. It's actually showing how important I am and making sure that he's there for the most important things for us.
Yeah, because it wouldn't go on the calendar if it wasn't important. So it's all about perspective. All right, moving on. Number 3, move fast, do it now. I read somewhere a long time, early when I first got in business with Andy, I read that successful people walk fast. And I was like, well, heck, there's a lot of things I'm not ready to do. I can walk fast. And
I remember when you found that.
And I just started walking fast. It's like, I wasn't the best making phone calls. But I could walk fast. And so I could at least imitate that one characteristic. And so I adopted that move fast, do it now mentality, versus procrastination. The more you procrastinate, the less likely you are to ever get around to it. There are things like, I've read this in efficiency books, some of the books we've read, Stephen Covey stuff, things like that, where he talks about, you should never handle a piece of paper more than once. Meaning that when you pick up something, finish it and move on. Do it now versus putting it down and thinking you'll get back to it later. So having that move fast, do it now mindset eliminates that lie of we have time. So Steve, what are some things in terms of talk a little bit about the move fast, do it now thought process?
So for me, moving fast is it's like a 3-second rule for me. I mean, if I have to think more than 3 seconds, I'm moving on to it right away. All right. I'm trying to push things through or just get on to the next thing, and not overthink it, keeping it simple. The way I have my desk set up, I started to implement some other things. And after Brian Tracy, I started reading his one book, Psychology of Selling. And one thing that I started to do, and everyone was asking me in the TI office, why are you standing up and dialing? So, well, Brian Tracy did it. If he did it, I should do it. And that one day, all right, booked 15 appointments on there. So moving fast. And what I started to notice for myself was that it kept me moving. I wasn't sitting down and then fumbling through papers, and I was just getting on to the next one, booking the appointment, getting on to the next one, booking the appointment, and moving on. And my day, I booked my appointments in a shorter period of time that day than I have in a lot of other times. So that was one way for me that I started to do little things that way. And usually, like when I do recruiting in the evening and everything, I'm setting up my desk so that it's there. I don't have to think about it. I've got my papers right there. I've got my phone calls ready to go, and I've got them, my time scheduled on there. And I'm just letting that schedule run me day in and day out, and things are being prepared for me. One thing, like you mentioned, the A, B, C, D, and E, I do that every day. I write out my A, B, C, and D on there, and what do I need to delegate? What are the things? And then utilizing the resources at your office or other people. That's what's beautiful about this whole system here, is utilizing the resources that we have. I love it. We were on 2 phone calls yesterday. So the team in Orlando, you talk about moving fast. They're moving fast that Now they're getting connected with Lucero on learning things about the ATM, how the presentations. And then we had the next phone call right of that was with Gina Hawks. It was awesome. Now we're doing IUL training right over there. They're like, boom, boom, boom. And next thing you know, we've got application for the IUL that they did that, and they're moving fast. So they're seeing, I'm trying to lead by example for them, and then we're getting them plugged into the system as fast as possible for them.
Absolutely. And just to clarify a couple things on that, moving fast is a mindset. When you're sitting with a client, slow down, be in the moment with that person. Take your time with that client. When you're talking to a new recruit or you're having a coaching call with somebody, slow down, really listen. Moving fast is when you're done, move on to the next thing very quickly. You know, and we're not saying don't take care of details or anything like that. That's not, don't move so fast that you're missing things. But it's that mindset. You know, one thing I've seen Andy do over and over again is he makes decisions quickly. You know, leaders, millionaires, they make decisions quickly and change their mind slowly. They get all the information, they get all the facts they need, and then they make a call. And I've seen Andy will make a call in a heartbeat. And then when he makes the call, you know, he's doing the best thing based on the information he has at that moment. And he's not quick to change it. And that's what I love about working with him is you know, he's not afraid to make the tough call. How many times, you know, do a lot of us, we just hem and haw, we go back and forth, and we really struggle with just making a decision. And he's just like, gotta make a call, right or wrong. This is where we're going. So I love that. Number 4 is move on purpose, be tactical. So number 4 is move on purpose, be tactical. That's what I love about the new promotion schedule. Andy has really created a system now by taking away all the distractions, by taking away all the structural requirements that we had previously. We can now focus on the deepest, most exciting part of every organization. And the concept that you only need 2 legs to be able to drive your business all the way up to 140% commission level. You only need 2 legs to be able to go partner. It really allows you to be more tactical on where you're putting your focus and where you're putting your time. You have, you know, by streamlining it, it allows you to be that much more working in the right places. And so moving on purpose, you know, not. We had a speaking coach. Andy brought in a speaking coach for us for a period of time, and you know, one of the things that he talked about was move with purpose. You know, don't just be bouncing back and forth for no reason. There should be a purpose in the story you're telling, in the talk you're giving for the movement that you have. And so, you know, just be a strategic thinker. And that's what I love about where we are as a company now. We talked about that earlier about, you know, playing chess now instead of playing checkers. You know, not trying to get 25 legs to be successful. Now, you know, 2 legs, drive it deep, drive it high. All right. So moving on purpose, we're going to keep going on this. Number 5, and remember, we're talking about things, you know, how to move fast, how to have urgency. You know, number 1, just to recap, be determined to win. Number 2, purge unproductive activities. Number 3, move fast, do it now. Number 4, move on purpose, be tactical. Number 5 is over communicate. Okay. But Adam, you're so busy. I use this analogy a lot. You know, a lot of times I feel like, you know, the pretty girl that never gets asked to the prom. You know, why? Because everybody just assumes she already has a date for the prom. Everybody assumes she's not going to go with them, so nobody asks her. And she ends up sitting home. Everybody assumes your leaders are so busy. They assume that, you know, and Mike and Noel are busy. Riddle is busy. Davies is busy, but they're not too busy for you. You are what we're busy doing. You are the reason we're here. And so your job is to over communicate with us. It's we don't, if we don't know what you're doing, it's very hard for us to help you get where you want to go. The first thing in giving somebody directions is, where are you? If you're trying to get to my office, the first thing I got to ask is, well, where are you now? Because if I don't know where you're starting from, it's very hard for me to give you directions to a finishing point. And so the communication becomes so critical in talking to the team. And guys, here's what I would encourage you to do. If the person who's coaching you is calling you more often than you're calling them, then you are under communicating. If you think you're calling too much, then you're probably calling just about the right amount. If you don't think you're calling too much, you are not even in the ballpark of what that communication should be. And so, I mean, and it's the same thing in life. It's not just in a business setting. It's not just, working with your team. Beth, talk a little bit about what over communicate as a family looks like.
The more we talk on the message that we're trying to relay, the more likely it is that the other person's going to hear it. Because I can't tell you the number of times that I think I have said something to Adam and he hadn't heard it, and vice versa. Like if I needed Adam to pick up the kids sometimes, I would tell him about it. I'd text him about it. I'd text all our office staff, say, hey, make sure Adam does this. Like that is, some people are like, well, why would you go through all of that? Shouldn't your husband have just heard it? Well, he's as busy as I am, and I get lost in my head sometimes. And so having all those different forms of communication helps us actually get the message across. And so, it's just like our kids don't need to just hear I love you one time. They need to hear that constantly reinforced. So same with our spouses. So we just need to stay on message. Chief reminding officer, you're the chief reminding officer of your business, with your agents, with your clients, with your family. We always need to be delivering the messages that are most important for other people to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if I know I need to be somewhere, first thing I do when I walk into the office is tell Jill, hey, I have this, I have an appointment at 9:30, and she's like, what time do you need to leave by? Because I need backup. I know I'm going to need backup, so I want to over communicate where I'm going to be, what I'm going to be doing, and all of those kind of things. So that is one of the critical things to do. Here's the other thing I'll say about communication. Especially in terms of your coaching relationship with the person you're getting coaching from. If I'm always calling Dan, and I have to pursue Dan, then it makes me wonder, does he really want the truth? Does he really want the clear information? Because if the person's having to chase you, it makes it look like you don't really want to know. In which case, I know that, if Andy's having to chase me to give me information, I'm going to get much more filtered information because he really questions whether I want it. But if I'm constantly coming to him, then he knows that I'm sincerely seeking the information and I'm sincerely seeking to get better. Dan, talk a little bit more about communication. You got a team that's growing, and you got some good things happening in multiple states, in multiple places. So what are some ways that, how important is the communication part, and how do you think you're doing in terms of communicating versus over communicating?
Yeah, I think before I was not over communicating. I think there was a lot of assumptions, a lot of, maybe just because I saw something one way, I assumed that other people saw it that way or understood it. That has not been the case. What I'm learning is, just like I talked about earlier, is, when couples are going out this business, you got to meet people where they're at. And, and instead of fighting with people on, maybe things they don't want to do or things they don't understand. Meet them where they're at, figure out what they're going through, and then work on the things that they want to work on, right? And help them where you can help them. Be an asset to them. Don't be, like you said, don't be that person when they see you're calling, they don't want to talk to you, right? And, you should always have relationships with people that when they see you call, they want to pick up and talk to you, right? And just that, just meeting people where they're at, getting to know them, right? Building those relationships. Paul Roberts talks about it all the time, is build relationships, find out about their kids, find out about what they want out of life, and then help them achieve that. And just by breaking it down to the basics of how can you help people? And the more people we help, obviously the more successful we'll be as organizations, as a company, as a whole line.
How about this? Be an asset, not an ass. And that starts with the communication and letting people know that they are important to you and that you do care. Andy was just texting something else out just the other day about, people don't know how much, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. It's an old truism, and it hasn't changed today. Number 6 is set clear expectations. First person you set clear expectations with is yourself. What do you expect to do? Chantal, you talked earlier about dial time, and one of the things I see so many agents shoot themselves in the foot with is they don't protect their dial time. Yeah. And they don't have a set of clear expectations. When you sit down to make phone calls, what's your expectation of results? What's your expectation of activity? You can't necessarily control the results, but you can definitely you can't control the output, but you can definitely control the input. So Chantal, what are some things you do to try and set expectations for yourself?
For me, I make sure that I set a goal that is attainable. You don't want to set your goal so high that you can't reach it. Something that I know I can do. But I also don't want to set it too low that I'm not pushing to try to do it. So first of all, I just make sure I do something that I know I can, something that's attainable for me. Because I know obtaining your goals is important. That's what's going to keep you motivated. For me, for my dial time, I try to set how many dials I'm going to do in an hour, so I can kind of push myself to say, hey, I know I'm setting myself to do 40 dials in this hour. So, however many appointments I get out of that, is good. But like you said, you can't control that variable, but I can control how many I do. So I just set my hourly goal, and then I go from there.
Yeah. Brian Tracy says this in his book Goals. He said a good goal is a goal that you have about a 50-50 shot of accomplishing. Something that stretches you out of your comfort zone, but is not so unachievable that you're not even going to try. And it also isn't so easy that it doesn't stretch you at all. So, so setting clear expectations with yourself, setting clear expectations with the people you're working with. People get frustrated because they don't know what to expect. If you can give them, hey, here's what's going to happen. If you're dialing A0 leads, then you ought to have a lot of success dialing A0 leads. You ought to be able to book 70 to 80% of A0 leads for appointments. They just fill them out. Now if you're calling R2s and RW leads and some of the low level stuff, you may only book 1 out of 4 or 1 out of 3 of those, and that's okay. It's giving them that expectation that, hey, there's a reason these are $3 leads and these are $30 leads. We don't expect you to get the same results. We expect you to put the same work into it with the same effort and intensity. So help your people have clear expectation of what they should be getting and what they should be accomplishing. Because what leads to frustration is not whether they're making money or not making money. What leads to frustration is the unfulfilled expectations. They thought they were going to be here, and they ended up here. and it's usually it's my fault for not coaching the person properly to make sure that what they're willing to do matches with what they're trying to do, and giving them that expectation. Number 7 is honor commitments. Honor commitments. You know, our 7th team player step is be accountable. Honoring your commitments is being accountable. Be accountable for what you say. If you schedule an appointment, do everything in your power to be there on time. Are you always not? No, nobody's perfect. But are you respectful of other people? You know, are you flip with the things you say? Are you flip with promises you make? Honor the commitments you make, and what that'll do is that'll garner the respect of your team. That'll give you it gives you the as Tim Goad says, the moral authority to hold other people to their commitments. But if you can't honor your commitments, and by the way, honoring your commitments is doing the work. You know, it's being productive. It's winning. That's part of honoring the commitments too. It's not just showing up. Just showing up is okay, great. You showed up. What did you do when you got there? You know, so that's part of the commitment as well. So, alrighty. What I want to do is this. So those are the seven ways to create urgency, to show urgency, and how to do it fast. I read this the other day. I'm reading a book by Bob Goff, and it says this: there are 37 recorded miracles in the New Testament. I enter each day assuming there's a 38th miracle waiting for me. If I'm fully engaged, if I will fully engage life and the people around me with love, honesty, and an unreasonable, almost annoying heap of expectation. Kind of ties in with number 6, which is set clear expectation. Do you expect to win? Is every day a good day in business? No. Every day a good day as a parent? No. Every day a good day as a spouse? No. You know, Andy says, those guys, they have marital problems. How do I know? They're married. That person, they got parent problems. How do I know? They got parents. You know, if you're above ground, you're on this side of the grass, you're going to have issues. What is your expectation of what life is going to do? How do you overcome the discouragement to be able to move fast and to work with urgency? So just real quick, if each one of you helping us wrap up this call, give us one thing that you like to do to overcome the discouragement that we all have in the back of our head to be able to stay focused and keep moving forward. Steve, let's start with you.
I love being around the fire up at TI. I mean, getting around the team, the association, that is so big for me. I look forward to every Monday and Thursday when I go up there and learn from them. Just get connected with as many people as possible. That's what keeps me going on there. And I know I keep fighting another day for it.
That's awesome. Power of association, huge. Dan, same question. How about you? What are some things, what are some strategies you do to keep discouragement at bay and keep moving forward?
I think a lot of it's just belief. And, you know, I know this might not relate to newer people, but just being in the system long enough, I know that it works. I know the leads work. I know the products are good for clients. I know the insurance companies pay out. And I understand that any negative that I have is because of me, right? I am the variable that is not producing income at that time or getting the results that, you know, you see the Megan Wood every week, consistent. She's working the same leads, working with the same insurance companies, selling the same products, right? So I can't say it's anything else except for me. So I'm good with that. I know if it's me, then I can fix me and change me. So as far as discouragement, it's just, you know, I say it all the time. If we have a bad week, it's, we didn't make enough dials, didn't see enough people. That's what it was. It's not, it's summertime. It doesn't matter. You know, Megan Wood doesn't care it's summertime. She's having, you know, the best month she's ever had. So, yeah, it's just knowing it's me and that I can fix it and just work harder. It actually fires me up and gets me excited. So,
That's awesome. I love that accountability too. I love that ownership. Because if it's something outside of you, then you got to wait for something outside of you to fix it. So that's awesome. Chantal, what are some things you do to be able to move fast, create that urgency, and not let discouragement slow you down?
For me, a big thing right here lately is affirmations. I bought a book of affirmations when I was at the family reunion, and every morning I got it wrote on my vision board, and I just repeat it. You know, if I have to do it 2 or 3 times a day, I just do the affirmations because it instills in me, okay, yeah, you can do this, you will do this. This is for you, you know, things of that sort. But affirmations is big for me, especially right here lately.
Yeah, one of the things I've heard said over and over again is, you know, stop listening to yourself and start talking to yourself. You know, a great book on that is How to Stop Worrying and Start Living by Dale Carnegie, one of Andy's favorite books. So Beth, wrap us up. What are some things you do to overcome discouragement and keep that sense of urgency moving forward?
Well, for us, definitely the association has always been a huge piece of what's kept us in the business. The relationships, the love that we feel from the team keeps us fighting another day. And I think the beauty is that we get to choose today. Like if you messed up yesterday, you messed up 5 minutes ago, you get to start over. So it's almost 11 o'clock now, August 13th. Right now, you get to decide that you can move with urgency, that you can be the leader you've always dreamed of being, regardless of what's happened in your past. Your past doesn't define you, but what you do today does. And so take advantage of that opportunity and spring forward to a new life. So guys, thank you so much for listening. We'll see you guys at the Fall Summit in Burlington, September 30th, October 1st. Andy Albright is hitting the road next week. He is all over the country. So you can check ARC for schedules and locations of those events. And don't forget, National Convention. Go ahead and get your ticket locked in. $50 deposit's all you need to lock in at the discounted price, January 20th through the 23rd. Love you guys. Thank you so much, Andy and Jane Albright, for allowing us to talk. And you guys go out there and kill it this weekend. Make something happen. Love you guys.
Record.